Welcome to A Few Minutes with the CEO. My name is Al O'Grady, and for the next few minutes, we'll be talking to the President and CEO of SilverQuest Resources, Mr. Randy Turner. SilverQuest Resources is a gold and silver exploration company with properties in British Columbia, the Yukon, and Ontario. It's the second largest landholder in the White Gold District, and we'll be talking a lot more about that very interesting region, as well as other developments for the company in just a moment. SilverQuest Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol SQI. Mr. Turner, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Al. How are you?
I'm fine, Randy. Obviously, you did very well coming back from the Super Bowl, and we're back in the saddle again. And, of course, if you want, we can talk about that. But let's talk about business for today. Randy, so many properties, so little time. The date of today's recording, Monday, February 7th. We don't have any Super Bowl hangovers. It's business full steam ahead. You had a number of press releases kicking off the year throughout January. Let's focus our attention right now in the Yukon, in the White Gold District. I'm only starting with that because, as I said in my introduction, you're the second largest landholder there. Let's start with the Boulevard. I believe that's the name of the project that you have in the Yukon. What's going on?
Okay, Al, I think, though, maybe we might say that the Super Bowl is going to be up in the Yukon this summer with certainly a lot of activity here going on. And maybe I could just bring your listeners up to date here right now, but it certainly is being heavily staked right now. In fact, as of last Friday, the mining recorder has run out of tags, claim tags. So it is the largest or second largest staking rush in Canadian history. Part of it is focused in the White Gold area where our Boulevard project is located, and part of it is over northeast of the White Gold area in an area called the Raw, where the Raw deposit was discovered by Attack Resources. So if we focus in first on the White Gold area, we have a very prominent land position, the Boulevard. We announced earlier in January the results of some drilling that we had carried out late last year, as well as the results of a major geochem soil sampling survey within the Boulevard project, which basically outlined a zone about 20 kilometers long. And for your listeners, in the Yukon, there was what we're looking for is an area where we're seeing sort of elevated gold, arsenic, bismuth, antimony in the soils. The area has not been glaciated, and yet it is covered with a fine till. So what you see in the soils is basically what you hope to find at depth. So when you find something 20 kilometers along and up to 500 meters wide, there's certainly room for potential vein-hosted gold deposits. So that's what was sort of the results of some of those early releases that came out in January.
Okay, why is the White Gold District, why is there so much interest there? Let's take it from a macro perspective.
Well, a couple of years ago, there was a major discovery made by a company called Underworld Resources, which was taken out in March of 2010 by Kinross for $160 million. So that sort of lit up the White Gold area of the Yukon as an exploration target. And since then, Kaminak Resources has come out with some very encouraging results. Kaminak has the property immediately east of our Boulevard project. And we're seeing lots of junior companies that have taken major land positions in there with early stage indications that there will be other gold discoveries made. And this is the area that placer gold was discovered back in the 1890s, which resulted in the Yukon Gold Rush. So what we're looking for is really the source of all the placer gold that was found back in those in the big gold rush days of the late 1890s.
Okay, so what are you guys going to be doing in the White Gold District in the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, exploration really for all companies will not start really until about the 1st of May, mainly because of the weather, the accessibility into the area. That's about when we hope to commence our exploration programs. And really the programs up there are 5 to 6 months long. So the majority of companies that will be up there, including ourselves, will be doing very detailed soil sampling, maybe some geophysics, and definitely drilling. So we're still putting together our plans, which should be together within the next 2 to 3 weeks. But The focus within the boulevard and all our other land holdings will be soil sampling, detailed soil sampling, following up on the results we had from the 2010 program, some geophysics, and lots of drilling.
Okay, you mentioned other project as well. We were talking about the boulevard, but also in the news with SilverQuest, you had Prospector Mountain and also the Bouvet gold property, both in the Yukon. Did you want to take a moment just to talk about those for a second?
Certainly. The Prospector Mountain is our most easternly located project. We had some very high, very significant gold, copper, silver values on surface. Drilling did hit some weaker intersections at depth, but really we only basically started to test that program. The zone is over 1.6 kilometers long, 600 meters wide, and we only got 8 holes completed before the snow started to fly back in September. So we're going to be back in a very aggressive program this upcoming year. The Bouvet is a very interesting project in that it is located, adjoins the raw discovery of Attack Resources, which is this other area, which is the focus of major staking activity up there right now. So early stage program, but it's got the right address, so we'll be exploring that sometime during the upcoming summer months.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to future developments in that area. Let's move on because you got so many projects going. Let's move over to British Columbia for a second. The Capoose project, some developments. I know you have a new NI 43-101. What's going on?
Okay, well, we over the course of last year, we did over 10,000 meters of drilling on the Capoose project, and this was in addition to the drilling that had been done over the last many years. We gave an update to the market in January of this year. Last March, we actually put out some numbers here in which we had 699,000 ounces of gold and 41 million ounces of silver. And under our new updated resource, we now have 827,000 ounces of gold and about 56 million ounces of silver. So as a gold equivalent, 1.78 million ounce gold equivalent. So certainly a substantial increase from our figure from last March. And I think the other thing that is extremely positive for the project is the metallurgy that was carried out, about 89.7% recovery on the gold, which for these type of deposits is very important, and in this case, it will significantly add value to this project.
Have you thought about changing your name from SilverQuest Resources to GoldQuest Resources?
We're a combination of both, but right now we'll stay with the SilverQuest, okay?
Okay, fair enough. Just before Christmas time, you guys are well financed. You've got some money in the kitty, private placement, $2 million thereabouts. I guess that's all for capital projects that you have upcoming.
Yeah, in total, Al, we have over $8 million in the bank right now, so we're well financed for the 2011 programs. You know, we're going to be spending a lot of that both in the Yukon and central BC, a lot of drilling, a lot of sampling, so it's going to be a very aggressive program, and it's going to be a lot of fun for 2011.
Sure. We had talked about 4 properties. Other properties of interest that are on your radar that other people should know about?
Well, we do have an interest in the Davison project in central BC with our partner, Richfield Resources. Richfield has been drilling extensively to the south of our project on their 100% own. We have done drilling in 2009 on this project. It looks like this is going to be a go-ahead for some more drilling during 2011 with Richfield. So that project is about 35 kilometers east of Capoose. So what we're seeing is a brand new district developing within central BC between the Capoose, the Davison, our 3Ts projects to the south. Very interesting gold, silver deposit area.
Okay, so what should investors be watching for with regard to SilverQuest Resources in the coming weeks and months?
What we're going to see here, there's going to be programs and budgets going to be announced here, and the programs commencing. So there's going to be a lot of activity coming out here between now, I think, and the 1st of May. And, of course, maybe we can tell the listeners here that we're going to be down at PDAC. We're going to have a booth down there. There's going to be a conference in Calgary, the Cambridge Conference. We're going to be a conference in Kamloops, the KEGS conference there. So we're going to be on the road telling the story as well, so there's going to be good publicity out there.
Sure. Randy, next question. I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. You and I, we've talked many times before. As you know, I've talked to hundreds of different presidents and CEOs. But what is it about SilverQuest Resources that sets you guys apart from the crowd?
I think there's a couple of things. That one is our very extensive portfolio, both in BC and in the Yukon. We have resources in the ground, which when you use that, it actually equals the market capitalization of the company right now. We have a very strong cash position. And we have a very strong board. Every person on our board has been associated with some major discovery, so we bring that to the board, to the company as well. So I think, the combination between property financing and management, those are some of the things that we think make SilverQuest stand out.
Fair enough. Randy, that's it as far as the formal questions are concerned. As always, my guest gets the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
Well, I think if you're going to look at a couple of areas in Canada where your listeners want to focus in on, one would definitely be the Yukon. We're going to see probably the best year that the Yukon has ever seen in its history as far as exploration go. And in central BC, we are certainly seeing a lot of exploration for the Capoose and Davison type projects. So it's going to be a great year. I think gold, silver prices are going to remain strong. So people looking for an investment should certainly look at companies that are exploring those two commodities. Okay,
fair enough. Randy, on that note, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about SilverQuest Resources.
Okay, thanks, Al.
Okay. And SilverQuest Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol SQI. And you've been listening to Randy Turner, President and CEO of SilverQuest Resources, on A Few Minutes with the CEO, produced by RBL Communications. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks very much for joining us.